Okay, well, apologies that we are a little bit late starting. I think our guests Linton and Brett have been delayed, so we're just going to get going and hope that they'll get here as soon as possible. So welcome to the BST AGM. This is our first Oyston-free AGM, where we are no longer defined by protest. Oh, fantastic. What wonderful timing. Just a bit of housekeeping first. There's no planned fire alarms today, so if the alarm does go off, your fire exits are at the back. So without further ado, as our VIP guests have just arrived, I'd like to extend a very warm welcome to Linton Brown and to Brett GERRITY. I think they're extremely busy at the football club, and I know they have to get back, and we appreciate the time. Are you happy to just say a few words to our members?
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
lovely. I'll hand over.
Thank you. Do I need to go there?
No, you're fine there. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for the very kind invitation. It's an absolute pleasure and a privilege to be among so many true and loyal Blackpool supporters. I have to remind myself that it's only 4 months since Simon bought the club. So much has been done. There's so much to do. And as supporters, you don't see necessarily what's happening behind the scenes, but I can assure you that we are absolutely privileged to have an owner in Simon Sadler who, on a daily basis, is involved in every aspect of the club. Yeah. He's on the phone constantly. He wants to know about everything. He's involved in every aspect of the club. He demands very high standards. He's a man who's succeeded in business, and he is determined that our club will be put back where it should be. It takes time. As I say, a lot's been done. If we look at on the pitch, we are in a very healthy position. We have a very young side that's growing. There are, I would suggest, some stars emerging. I think Jordan Thompson perhaps is an example of that. Have we reached potential yet? I don't think we have. Do we expect to achieve potential? Yes, we do. We have a manager in Simon Grayson who is exceptionally experienced at this level. He is, I would suggest, the best manager to get us out of League One, which is the ultimate goal. Whether that be this season or next season or the season after, there are no guarantees of these things, but I can assure you that Simon Sadler is working relentlessly to ensure that we have the best team on the pitch to compete at League One and above. We've bought players that are young. They are not the journeymen perhaps that have joined Blackpool in the recent past. There is an ambition there that the lads that come in can play at a higher level. Of course, it takes time for people to bed in, and that's happening presently. Injuries have been a problem. 4 big players missing on Monday in Kai, Delfonso, Nuttall and Jordan Thompson. Would those 4 players have made a difference on Monday? I would suggest they would. 4 of our more exciting, attacking, talented lads. Of course, that's on the pitch. Off the pitch is equally as important, because if Blackpool is to succeed as a football club, then we must run the business properly. We have to have the right people involved. Simon has now ensured that that will happen. I have with me today Linton Brown, who has only in this last couple of weeks joined as the Chief Commercial Officer. Simon and I are absolutely delighted to have Linton with us. His record in football is impeccable. He has been CEO at Barnsley. He has worked throughout the business at Hull. He brings with him an expertise in the commercial side of the business that this club simply hasn't had. We have to bring the revenue in off the pitch so that we can improve on the pitch. And Simon and I 100% believe that Linton is the man to do that. We have imminently an announcement to make with regard to the new CEO. I think that when that announcement is made, you will see the ambition that Blackpool Football Club is showing. This is a man who has, despite his years, tremendous experience of running very big clubs and will take this club to the next level. We simply have not had that experience, that expertise throughout every level of football. This is a new chapter for Blackpool Football Club. It's a move forward, it's an ambitious move, and it shows what Simon Sadler is putting his money where his mouth is. What he's promised to do, he's doing. We have plans, drawings now for the East Stand. We have plans for the training ground. They're all being considered. Of course, those are intensive programmes. They don't happen overnight. As a reminder, Simon's only been in place for 4 months, so it takes time. Please be patient on that. But things are happening, and I promise you on that. Okay? So when he says the East Stand will be done and the training ground will be done, that will, it will happen, and it will happen sooner rather than later. Can I just finish, please, with a quick word about the support that we have at Blackpool? I can say without doubt that we are truly blessed to have supporters like yourself that most clubs don't have. We have a loyalty of our fan base that travel away, the support of Bolton, of Rochdale, Accrington, thank you, was exceptional. Every opposing board, when we sit there, commends Blackpool on the support, the volume, the intensity, the passion, and that's what it's about being a Blackpool fan, is the passion. So thank you to everyone. The ground at Bloomfield against Lincoln, the Friday night game, it was exceptional, it was outstanding. We had guests there who were blown away with how loud it was, how the fans sang throughout the 90 minutes. It was incredible. So a sincere thank you to everyone, not just from myself, but I speak for Simon. He appreciates everything that people are doing, and thank you for being here. Thank you for inviting us, and our door is open. We do want to engage with the supporters. There will be fans forums. Linton will touch on that. This is a different regime. We want to be approachable, we want to be open, and we want to talk with the valued fans, and that's what you are. So thank you for inviting me today. Thank you for inviting Linton. Please enjoy the game, another tough game for us today, but hopefully we'll get the 3 points. And I think in closing, it's an exciting time to be a Blackpool fan, because the things that are happening off the pitch will make what happens on the pitch something that we all want. We will have a successful team that goes up these divisions, and it will happen soon.
Great.
Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everyone. Really appreciate the invitation. I don't know how I'll follow that speech because that was brilliant. Well done, Brett. Look, it's an honour to be here. I'd just like to say just a few things on behalf of myself with the owner and Brett and the board. I'm absolutely thrilled and delighted to have been given the opportunity to join this great club. It's been the staff have been fantastic. They've really welcomed me. Got some great people. I've been in football for many, many years, and I've been, unfortunately, I would say, experienced things at different clubs and challenges, which I know that you, as the fans, have had challenges in the past. And what I would like to say to you all is, as Chief Commercial Officer in the last few weeks as Acting CEO, is I'm unbelievable and staggered at the passion of your fans. I know all football clubs have fans, but you know the passion, what I've seen in the few games I've seen, has just been blown me away. My hometown club is Hull, and you know, if it's going on camera, sorry Hull fans, but you guys blow them away, definitely, with the passion what you show for this football club. It means so much to you and the community what this football club means. I know from the discussions I've had with Brett and certainly with Simon, the owner, about what they feel about this football club, like you do. They're both fans, and it means everything, this football club, to them. And I've actually said, you know, when I've been speaking to my wife on the phone last night about Simon, I hope Simon likes this tag, but he is global, but he is local. Can I get away with that? Yeah. Because that is true. Yeah. He cares passionately. I'll check it from me. I've made the mistake with Simon already. He's in Hong Kong. Business, 7 hours difference, but he messages me at 2:30 in the morning, and I'm messaging him back. And now I think he forgets about the timeline, but he is so passionate to drive this club forward. My role as Chief Commercial Officer, I've got great experience. What I want to try and do is make Blackpool Football Club a commercially sustainable model. For me to do that, I have to organise things and make some slight improvements, carry on the good work from the previous exec team. It's my role and the rest of the team at the club now to try and drive revenue. Try and engage with the businesses what used to be interested in Blackpool no longer. We need to be out there knocking on doors. We need to make sure that what we stand for in this community, in this club, that businesses are interested. And it's the same with the fans. We need to get out there and reach out. I will be implementing fans forums. Forgive me, it's only my third week and I can't do everything overnight, but I do intend, because I think, again, I don't want to go out the history, but I respect everything what's going on. But I'm on this journey, as a new journey looking forward. We want everybody together, you fans, everybody together. You know, we're going to conquer everybody else in this league and then the league above. We want unity. So I want everybody, my role as well as generating funds for the football club, for then Simon and the board then to improve the football side. That's what my role is. But I also have a role representing you as fans, that I know what you're happy with and what you're not happy with. You know, the good and the bad I need to know. I want to improve the matchday experience. I want to improve your experience in the stadium. I want to improve everything what I possibly can, so everybody enjoys coming to Bluefield Road on a Saturday afternoon or midweek. That's what my role is. As I said, I don't want to bore you anymore because I'm full of flow, so if anybody catch it after we've been in, I do apologise. But look, I'm absolutely thrilled and delighted. I am now a massive pool fan. Up the mighty pool, I'm up with it. I've had 2 sticks of rock this week, so I'm getting well into the Blackpool seaside thing. It's going to be a great journey. I'm really, as I say, happy to be here, and I know that we've got big plans. You know, let's enjoy it together, and hopefully 3 points today. And thank you for your time today. Thank you.
Thank you very much to both of you again, because we really do appreciate your time, and I know how busy you are, so I know you need to get back, so thanks again, and I hope you'll come and join us again.
No, we'll definitely come, and I can have a drink next time I come.
You can, yes.
Thank you very much.
I don't think you'll have to buy one.
Thank you, Christine. Thank you.
Okay, so that's all very positive, and I hope that's put everybody in a nice optimistic mood. So I'm going to rattle through this because I know we've got a game on, and again, that hasn't been a massive thing for us in the past, for some of us anyway. So it's great to be, against the clock. So the next thing that we're going to look at now on our agenda is the confirmation of the members of the new committee. Just to explain, in case anybody's not sure, the BST committee are elected for 2 years at a time, and of the 9 committee positions available, 8 were up for renewal this year. Tony Hodgson, our acting treasurer, is not up for renewal until next year. So we have 3 existing committee who are not standing for re-election. So I just want to take this opportunity to give a massive thank you to them for all they've contributed over the past few turbulent years for our club and our trust. Mike Nash stood down as treasurer earlier this year. Gareth White and Ray Gregson are standing down today. I know all 3 of them will continue to support the trust, and Ray has confirmed that he's happy to still be our veterans representative, so thank you for that. So a big thank you to to those 3. So on to the new committee. This has been an uncontested election, as we had 8 places and 8 candidates. The deadline for objections to be sent to the secretary has passed, with only 1 objection, which was about me. More on that later. And so all that remains is for the members really to show approval for each candidate by raising your voting card. Now, before we do that, I'd like to welcome the new supporter liaison officer to our meeting. At the same time, thank him for his sterling work in the past as BST press officer, chairman and secretary. You all know Steve Rowland. He is now here in his independent position as SLO, and he's just going to help me out with this. So, Steve Rowland.
Thanks very much, Christine. Yeah, I'm here as an independent, not as a BST rep, and I'm here really to help manage this last part of the election because Kev, your secretary, is apparently stuck in Portugal and couldn't be here, otherwise he'd be doing it. It's a democratic trust, everybody knows that, it's an important principle. Although there wasn't a poll, because as Christine said, there were 8 applicants for the 8 places, the constitution of the trust says that we have to approve all of those people at the AGM, okay? It's your decision as to whether you want them to be on the committee or not. They've all put themselves forward, you know who most of them are. In case you don't, I think the 3 who are standing are Danny Morgan, who used to be a junior rep, Kevin Quirk, who you all know from his sterling work with our friends the Tangerine Knights, and Derek Spence, who is a footballer. I'm not going to ask any of them to stand up and explain themselves unless you really want them to, in the interest of time, but we do now have to go through each person, so Christine will call out the names. I'll just ask for a show of hands. It's basically 51% or more approve that person, they're on the committee. Let's see how it goes, okay?
Okay, so first up we have Derek Spence.
Anybody dare oppose that? Okay.
Thank you.
Duly elected.
Kevin Quirk.
Yes, we have.
Very good. Anybody against Kevin?
Okay, so we'll
Again, good. Duly elected.
Can't vote for yourself. Danny Morgan.
Okay. Anybody against Danny's position? One joker. Danny's elected as well. Thank you. Let's move on.
Pauline O'Rourke.
Go on, Pauline.
And good. Anybody against Pauline? Thank you. Pauline's elected as well.
Next up, Andy Higgins.
Yep, very good. Anybody against Andy? Standing? No? Good. Elected?
Francis Charlesworth.
Okay, very good. Anybody against Francis on the committee? No? Again, duly elected.
Tony Wilkinson.
Thank you. Anybody against Tony? No? Again, unanimous.
No, okay. And finally, Christine Seddon. All voted.
Can't vote for yourself.
Right.
And who's the person who objects? Show of hands. Not in the room.
No.
Okay, so all duly elected. At their next committee meeting, I believe they will decide among themselves who's going to be the chair, who's going to be the deputy chair, and they'll let you all know in due course. Thanks very much.
I'm not going to stand up, but I just want to take the opportunity because I should explain to those, I think everybody knows that I am now employed by Simon Sadler, but I am the manager of the Blackpool FC Hotel. This is what the objection was about, and in principle the suggestion is that I could be conflicted as a member of the BST committee and also being employed by the football club. As it wasn't a personal objection, I have to say. In fact, the person who objected was extremely complimentary. I do accept in principle that there is potentially an issue there, although I did put this in my application. The committee that you've just elected and just confirmed, it is completely democratic, so decisions are made by the whole. One individual cannot influence the whole committee. So if there was to be any problem at all, I can recuse myself, I can step back from any particular situation. But for people who know me, and there's a lot of people in this room who know me for a long time, I have a history throughout my entire career of challenging things if I don't think it's right. I have challenged many employers, and I will very happily challenge Simon Sadler if I feel it's necessary. My principles are not for sale, not even for a salary. So I would just want to reassure you all that there is absolutely no question whatsoever of me being compromised in any way. I would step back if there was a problem. And moving forward, as people come forward and put themselves forward to be on the committee, I am very happy to hand over the baton. I'm not clinging onto it personally, but at the moment, we don't want the baton dropping on the floor, do we? So we will continue, and thank you very much, everybody, for the support and the fantastic emails I've had personally. That it's a very important time for the Trust, because we're now moving into a different era where we can actually be a proper trust, not a trust in exile, and there's a lot for us to do, so it's important that we are a strong committee, which I think we've got. So thank you very much, everybody. Okay, I'm just going to very quickly move on to the Treasurer's report. We have put some of the accounts out. I don't know if you've seen them, but they are up on the website. Andy, where's Andy? Here you go. Andy, you're there. He'll just quickly go through it with you.
Cheers. Afternoon, folks. I got roped into doing this because I was once a trainee accountant at Ernst & Young, when I lasted about a year before I got sacked. But anyhow, good news, we've put a skeleton version of the accounts up on the website. You can all have a look. We'll put a more detailed version up. Good to report, we're a very solvent trust. Last year, just headline figures, income received was 30,000. We've still got over 12,000 of that in the coffers, and we had £17,000 worth of expenses, the bulk of which were what we term as donations. And just to give you a brief flavour of those, Paul Stewart, the charity there, was 750 went to that. Mind Charity, 3.3. Gary Parkinson, 750. Boathouse Trust, 750. The BFC clean-up, we had to buy the materials for Tony's little army there that did all that, which was 916, and then various others. So there was about 11 grand's worth of donations, so very solvent. It's a local company that does it for us at minimal cost. We'll get these signed off. Allardyce and Co. and Whitegate Drive, if anybody needs any accountants, they've been very good to us. And then we'll get the full details up. Do we need to vote on this or anything, or no? So that's all that was, folks. So thanks for listening.
Okay, next on the agenda, we've got player sponsorship, so I'm just going to ask Tony just to talk about that.
Thank you. You may have seen on the official club website that players are up for sponsorship at the club, and obviously we're in the new era. The change has come where we now are fully back in the club. To sponsor a player would be £800 plus VAT, £960 cost to the trust, should the trust decide that we would want to do that. We are actually, surprisingly, a quarter way through the season. So the question would be, what would be the thoughts of the members as to whether we should do that at this point, or perhaps hold off on that until the following season. It's just something to think about. We would have to perhaps put it to a vote on the website, but just a discussion point as to what happens with the funds that is the members' money at the end of the day. You people are the trust. We put ourselves up for committee, but you people here are the trust. So it's whether we want to spend that money, a quarter way into the season, and support the club that way, or perhaps start afresh next season on that. That's about it.
Any thoughts on that?
Can we just have a hands up just to see a flavour of people's interest?
Okay, so just if you'd like us to sponsor a player, say it's £800 for the rest of this season. What's the feeling? Do you feel it's worth doing that now?
Yeah. We've got plenty of money in the bank, haven't we? We've got 12,000.
Yes, we have got money in the bank. So okay, so we'll put an email out to all the members, because it is more, well, it's over the £500 limit that the committee are allowed to commit. Yes, go on, Brian.
May I mention, I am very concerned about it, in the sense that if we sponsor one player, does that cause problems for the other players? Or are we like a favouritism thing? I'm not very happy about sponsoring one player. Maybe if we could sponsor something with the team jerseys for a game or whatever, but not a player.
Just in case anybody didn't hear that, Brian's just concerned that it might be favouritism. How do we decide which player it should be? Steve? Would you just whiz that?
So I can do it without the mic. Back in last spring, we did inquire about whether there would be a sponsorship package for maybe the women's team, the ladies' team, given the Women's World Cup was coming up. And we never got a response from the club because of the turnover of people running the show. But if you're concerned about picking out one player, maybe looking to sponsor the ladies' team for the rest of the season might be an alternative. Just a thought.
Okay, okay, so we will put this out then to the wider membership. So please watch for an email. We'll try and get that done this week. Yes, Malcolm.
What about sponsoring the captain, whoever he is?
Again, that's another option. So we'll put those options that have been suggested, and let's see what the wider membership come back with. Gary?
What about the season, the youngest player of the season this year?
Okay.
Sponsoring for next year.
Sorry.
He's he's a young player of the year, so.
Yeah.
Is it just an opportune time to mention? Could we start thinking about a trophy from BST with a view to end of season awards? If we can put this in place now, then come the end of the season when we have the awards night, it's up there. We've got our trophy, and we can put it out to the membership for a vote. Just thought it was an opportune time to mention it as a possibility.
BST have been asked, as part of a very small group, to send a representative to the select committee. We're not sure exactly when that will be. It will be in London. The committee took the decision to ask BST member Robbie Whittaker to represent us. Robbie has done an awful lot of work on governance. It is his speciality, and actually created the case review that we sent to the EFL at the beginning of last year, which they have still failed to use. But the DCMS are actually very interested in it, so as it's his baby, it makes sense for Robbie to go and represent us. He certainly knows the subject inside out. But it's fantastic that BST have been asked to be involved in this, and hopefully this is just the start of some positive change at last. Tony and myself are still on the National Fans Organisation, the FSA. We're attending a meeting at the end of this month, and we will provide updates to you. Andy here, who chairs our governance group, he is trying to arrange a meeting of the North West Football Supporters Association. We're trying to get people, MPs, etc., to attend, and that's what the hold-up is really, because the paralysis of Brexit, I'm afraid, makes it very difficult to get MPs to do anything. But as soon as we get that set, I do hope that many of you will attend, because they are very, very interesting meetings. And again, the more fans who are there, the more the MPs, etc., realise they do need to sit up and take notice. Any questions about football governance? Or I say, if anybody wants to be involved, then do email us and let us know, because it's a big, broad subject, and I think over the coming months there's going to be lots to do. Any questions? No? Okay. So moving on to item number 7, which is structured dialogue and a memorandum of understanding. Now, it was nice to hear Brett and Linton talking about fan engagement. Isn't it fantastic that we're actually even being considered these days? But structured dialogue is a little bit different to a fans forum. Structured dialogue, in fact I have a nice quote about it, but structured dialogue should provide an effective and formal method of communication between the executive level of football clubs and democratically elected supporter representatives on key issues of importance. There doesn't have to be a set agenda, but it's about establishing regular communications between the executives of a club and the fan base. The EFL, the FA have recognised how important this is, and it is now mandatory for all football clubs to engage at least twice a year. Good luck with getting them to actually impose that, but it is there in the rules now. A memorandum of understanding is basically an agreement between fans and the executive of a football club that this will take place. A few clubs have signed memorandums now. Fulham were the first club to do it. Norwich, Notts Forest, Doncaster, Grimsby, Rochdale and Reading have all done the same. So these are all clubs that are acknowledging how important it is to have proper dialogue with the fans. I hope that Blackpool can be the next on that list, because we really should be. And given the encouragement we're getting now from the owner, I don't see why that shouldn't happen. A supporters trust has to be part of this, because we are a democratic organisation. But of course, other fan groups are also included, and that is exactly how it should be. So moving forward, we will get this set up. I believe the club have agreed to at least 4 meetings a year. Quite how it's going to be achieved, I think, will come down to the SLO to sort it out. Because obviously you want representatives from across the group, but I still say Blackpool Supporters Trust is here for all Blackpool fans. We are an umbrella organisation. Amongst our members we have Muckers, we have BSA, we have Tangerine Knights, we have everybody. And that's exactly how it should be. We are a unified base, or we should be now. We all have slightly different ways of doing things, but we are as one. And that's very, very encouraging for the future. Okay, any questions on that? Sorry, it's a monologue from me, isn't it? All right.
Just a quick statement. I think it would have happened by now, but for the changes in the board. They're waiting for the new CEO to come in before we agree how the process is going to work.
Which is fair enough, I think. Okay, so quickly to the last item on the agenda before any other business, events and fundraising. We were very, very sorry to have to cancel the golf day this year. I don't know, I think everybody's just got so excited about coming back to football. I know a number of people said that, you know, now that they're paying for football tickets, paying for a golf day as well was a bridge too far. We're not going to abandon it, and we will look at it and maybe give a bit more notice, etc. for next time. But we are very keen to hear from you, our members, about what sort of events you would like us to do. We are very much part of the community. As you can see from the accounts, we've made great contributions in the past 12 months, and we want to continue to do that. But if we are going to set the events up, they need to be supported. So we don't want to do something that nobody's actually interested in. So again, at this stage, if I could encourage you all, please, to have a think, and if you would like to email either the secretary or the chair or the deputy chair, we've all got generic emails, and let us know your thoughts, and then the committee will take that up on your behalf. Any comments about that? Anything from the committee? No? Okay. Right, well, all it remains then is any other business. So does anybody have anything that they would like to raise at this? Oh, sorry, yes, we have a raffle, the raffle. Some of you, thank you, have purchased raffle tickets. For those who weren't in the room earlier, I was approached by the lady from the Hedgehog Sanctuary on St Anne's Road. She was given a signed football from Blackpool Football Club to raise funds, and she doesn't know many football fans, so she's asked us as the trust to raffle the ball off today. So we'll just do that now.
Derek's picked it out.
Thank you, picked out by Derek Spence, and the number is
260.
260. 260. Anybody claiming it? Somebody's brought it. Oh, hooray! Okay. Okay, well, it's over here. You can pick it up on your way out. Thank you very much for that. We raised £90, so I'm sure she'll be very, very pleased with that. So thank you. That's community in operation. We also have the second edition of the, now that's what I call Progress fanzine, which if you'd like to purchase one, you can get them from over here. And we've still got Blackpool Supporters Trust scarves if anybody would like one. So anybody got any other business they'd like to raise before we all go off and start shouting inside Bloomfield Road? Oh, over the back there, Wilf. All right, yes, thank you.
It's Lee TV. Right. It's nothing really to do with business, this. Just to thank BST for the work they've done for us all. I don't think anybody's said this about Christine and the committee, those that have retired and hopefully those that are coming on, but thank you very much for what you've done. We've got our club back.
well, it's been a joint effort, hasn't it? And all I can say is it's been an absolute privilege to represent such a fantastic fan base. I've got Kevin here who wants to have a few words.
Nothing major, it's alright. The one thing that we did in the nights is that we were heavily into the social media aspect of it, and I want to try and bring that over to BST. What I want to do is I want to promote our fan base more than it has been, because like Brett and Linton said before, we do have some amazing fans here, and I don't think we big ourselves up as much as we should do. So with our Facebook pages, Twitter, Instagram, etc., what I want you guys to be doing is sending in pictures and stories from what you've done at away grounds. I want to see pictures of you guys basically just enjoying yourselves, and I want to promote that. I want to see pictures out in the community of you guys wearing your shirts, doing certain things. I want to basically show the world that we do have the best fans. I want to try and do things like Fan of the Month competition. It can be for stupid things like Dave finally bought a round at the game, you know, for daft things. But I want you guys to be the main focus. Exactly. So I want you guys to be the main focus. So hopefully in the coming weeks we can try and build that bit up a bit more and hopefully involve everyone in this a bit more than they have been previously. Okay? Everybody all right with that?
Yeah. Guess what job Kevin's getting on the committee. Right, well, thank you very much. Nothing else from anybody? I don't want to miss anybody around it. Thank you for coming out today. It's a great turnout. We should all be very, very proud of ourselves, and now we've got a club that we can be proud of. So let's go forward and up the mighty pool. Thank you.